A while ago, we made this really nice video on this channel about modeling Discord's permissions in SpiceDB. It was great and lots of people viewed the video, but it was also more than an hour long. Today, I'm going to do the whole thing in just one prompt. Let me show you how. The permissions model in Discord seems simple, but actually is very complicated. You have a server, and within the server, you have different channels, and you have a bunch of different roles. And you really have fine-grained permissions for who can do what. For instance, who can see what channel, who's allowed to delete messages, who's allowed to add a bot to a channel, and so on. All of this is solved by relationship-based access control. And writing all of that by hand is exactly where that hour went into. But this is the all-new SpiceDB Playground. The new part is this assistant that's sitting right inside it. You describe what permissions you want in plain English, and it writes a schema, it generates the test data, and runs the check. And all of this happens against a live SpiceDB instance that's running in your browser. Let's take a look. I'm going to deliberately give a vague prompt to this assistant and see how it works through it. And I'm going to just say, build me a SpiceDB schema for Discord. And there it is. The model has defined all the different types of objects in the system, like a user, a server, a role, and the relationships in between them. A user can be an owner of a server, a user can be a member of a server, a user can be banned from a server, and if you've used Discord a few times, you know that that could happen. And you have permissions that are computed based off of those relationships. Also, a schema is no good without any test data against it, and I didn't even have to ask it for test data. It's pre-populated relationships to test this schema out already. So for instance, we know that Alice is the owner of the Acme server, whereas Bob is a member of the Acme server. And there are a bunch of different relationships written about moderators to the server, member who's a moderator, and so on, to really test out the different permissions that can be computed off this schema. Now, I'm going to ask the AI a question about the schema and the relationships here for me to better understand the schema. So I'm going to say, can a regular member delete another member's message? And I'm going to hit the send button. There you go. You can actually get an answer about how the schema works. In this case, you say, no, a regular member can't delete someone else's message. And there is the entire trace of this permission check as it would happen in something like a Discord. You can see the delete is granted only via 2 paths, etc. And you can actually see the actions taken by this assistant and also the check trace right here. Now, let's say you want to change something about the schema. You actually don't have to do it by hand anymore. I can actually just ask the AI something like, let admins delete any message in their server. And there you go. The assistant has added an explicit admin role relation to the server so that an admin isn't just an owner, but any user assigned an admin can delete a message. And you can see right here, there is this new admin role assigned. The assistant will also tell you all the changes that have been made. For instance, you can see that the schema has changed, but also the relationships added, the assertions made, and the expected relations. You can also visualize how this would look in a graph format to better understand your schema. You can see the different users here, how they connect to the different roles and the permissions, and how the graph traversal would actually look like if a permission check happened. But here's the coolest part about this playground and this assistant. All of these checks are actually happening against a live instance of SpiceDB running in your browser right now. The playground compiles SpiceDB and the Z CLI into WebAssembly so that it can run in the browser. So I can just do Z schema read and read the live schema using the command line. So every check that you're actually seeing here is made against a live instance of a SpiceDB. The assistant also keeps track of every revision. So I can just say something like revert this change, and the assistant will revert the model to what was there previously. There you go. It's rolled back to the permissions model that were there before I made this change. And when you're ready to take this to your production code base, the same thing ships as a plugin for both Claude Code and Codex. It's called SpiceDB Dev, and the link is there below. So one prompt was all it took for this assistant to come up with a very complicated Discord permissions model. And it was also tested and explained to you. I'd recommend checking out the hour-long versions of the GitHub, Google Groups, and Discord videos that we have on our channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content on the world of authorization. See you in the next one.